There's an undeniable truth, one that's often ignored in modern culture, that men are not just drawn to youth, nor are they exclusively attracted to superficial beauty. No, the reality is far deeper than that. Men, thinking, rational, ambitious men, are drawn to order in the face of chaos, to wisdom hard-earned, and to grace maintained in the face of time's relentless march. And so if you are an older woman and you wish to be approached by men of substance, you must first ask yourself, are you embodying the virtues that naturally attract admiration? Because let me be very clear, it is not age itself that repels men, but rather the decay of self-respect, of curiosity, and of discipline. Men, at least men who are worth their salt, are not just drawn to fleeting beauty or the vibrancy of youth. They are drawn to something far deeper, something far more enduring, and that, fundamentally, is wisdom. A woman who has truly cultivated wisdom carries herself in a way that commands respect. She is not desperately seeking validation, nor is she fumbling through life without direction. Instead, she has acquired knowledge, not just from books, but from experience, from suffering, from triumph, from the long and often painful process of truly understanding herself and the world. And this, whether consciously or unconsciously, draws people toward her. The world is full of uncertainty, and men, especially those who are ambitious, who are striving towards something, are engaged in a battle against chaos. They are navigating careers, relationships, responsibilities, and internal struggles. The last thing a man of value wants is to invite more chaos into his life through a partner who is lost, erratic, or emotionally unstable. Instead, he is drawn to a woman who embodies order in the midst of disorder, who has the ability to see the world clearly and respond to it with intelligence and grace. This does not mean perfection. No one is perfect, and no one expects perfection. What it means is clarity. Clarity of thought, clarity of purpose, clarity of self-awareness. A wise woman understands her emotions without being enslaved by them. She has learned from her past without being burdened by it. She does not react impulsively to every fleeting frustration, nor does she allow external circumstances to dictate her internal state. This kind of emotional and intellectual mastery is profoundly attractive. You can see this truth play out in social interactions. When a woman speaks, does she command attention with her insight, or does she simply add to the noise? When she offers advice, does it stem from wisdom, or is it merely an echo of shallow opinions? When she engages with a man, is she someone who challenges him to think, to grow, to reflect, or is she simply another distraction? The difference is monumental. Men, at least those who are striving towards something meaningful, do not seek women who are directionless. They are drawn to women who have cultivated a deep understanding of themselves and the world, because such a woman is not a liability. She is an asset. She does not drain a man's energy, she amplifies it. She does not add confusion to his life, she brings clarity. She does not hold him back, she pushes him forward. And here's something crucial. Wisdom does not come automatically with age. There are plenty of older women who have not gained wisdom, just as there are young women who possess remarkable insight. Wisdom is earned. It requires effort, discipline, and a relentless commitment to truth. It demands that a woman confront her own flaws honestly, that she seeks knowledge relentlessly, that she refuses to be controlled by falsehoods, wishful thinking, or shallow impulses. So how does a woman cultivate wisdom? First, she must seek knowledge constantly. This does not mean simply absorbing information. It means thinking critically, questioning assumptions, and engaging with ideas that challenge her existing beliefs. A wise woman does not just parrot what society tells her. She thinks for herself. She sharpens her mind. She learns from history, from philosophy, from psychology, from literature. She understands that a well-developed intellect is not just an academic pursuit, but a foundation for a meaningful life. Second, she must develop emotional intelligence. This means understanding the nuances of human behavior, learning to read people accurately, and recognizing that emotions, while important, must be managed with discipline. A wise woman does not lash out irrationally. She does not allow resentment to fester. She does not play manipulative games. Instead, she communicates with clarity, with honesty, and with depth. This makes her incredibly rare in a world filled with emotional chaos. Third, she must embrace self-reflection. A woman who lacks wisdom blames others for her failures. She externalizes her problems. She refuses to take responsibility for her life. But a wise woman, she looks inward. She asks herself difficult questions. She examines her past mistakes, not to wallow in guilt, but to extract lessons from them. She acknowledges her own shortcomings and actively works to improve them. This kind of personal responsibility is a hallmark of true wisdom, and it is undeniably attractive. Finally, she must maintain composure under pressure. Life is unpredictable. There will be hardships, betrayals, disappointments. The question is not whether these things will happen. They will. The question is how she responds to them. A woman who panics, who collapses under pressure, who reacts impulsively to every challenge, she does not inspire confidence. But a woman who remains steady, who faces adversity with courage and composure, who thinks clearly even in difficult situations, that is a woman who commands respect. That is a woman who men approach not out of pity, but out of admiration. There is a reason why societies throughout history have revered wisdom. It is because wisdom is a stabilizing force. It cuts through deception. It provides guidance. It turns chaos into order. And men, particularly men who are engaged in meaningful pursuits, are naturally drawn to those who embody this quality. So if you are a woman who wishes to be approached by men of substance, do not concern yourself with superficial tricks or fleeting trends. Concern yourself with wisdom. Cultivate it relentlessly. Embody it fully. Let it shape the way you think, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself. Because when you do, you will not have to chase men. You will not have to beg for attention. Instead, you will become someone who is sought after, someone who is respected, someone who is admired, not for her age, not for her appearance, but for the depth of her mind and the strength of her character. And that is something truly rare. There is an unmistakable force in a woman who carries herself with confidence and self-respect. It is not arrogance, nor is it a performance designed to impress others. It is a deep-rooted understanding of her own worth. Such a woman does not seek approval, nor does she mold herself to fit someone else's expectations. Instead, she moves through the world with an unshakable sense of dignity. And in doing so, she naturally commands the attention of those around her, including men of substance. Confidence is not simply about how a woman presents herself externally. It is a reflection of her internal state. A woman who is truly confident does not need to prove anything. She does not chase attention, nor does she act out of desperation. She is comfortable in her own presence, and because of that, people are drawn to her. There is something magnetic about a person who stands firmly in their identity, who does not waver based on external validation or social pressure. Self-respect, in many ways, is the foundation upon which confidence is built. A woman who respects herself does not tolerate mistreatment. She does not settle for relationships that drain her energy or diminish her value. She does not engage in behaviors that compromise her dignity or betray her integrity. Instead, she holds herself to a higher standard, not because she seeks to impress others, but because she understands that her actions define her character. When a man encounters a woman who exudes self-respect, he immediately recognizes her as someone different from the crowd. She is not trying to gain his approval. She already approves of herself. She does not bend over backward to accommodate his every whim. She has her own standards and expectations. This paradoxically makes her far more desirable, because men at their core are not drawn to weakness. They are drawn to strength. They are drawn to a woman who knows her value and refuses to compromise it. A woman with confidence and self-respect does not engage in petty competitions with others. She does not feel threatened by younger women, nor does she attempt to prove her worth through superficial means. She knows that true attractiveness is not found in the desperate pursuit of validation, but in the quiet assurance of her own worth. She does not chase men. She does not attempt to manipulate them. Instead, she allows them to come to her, knowing that those who recognize her value will naturally be drawn in. This does not mean that she is cold or unapproachable. True confidence is not about arrogance or superiority. It is about a calm assurance in oneself. A woman who is confident is warm, engaging, and fully present. She listens with intent, speaks with conviction, and carries herself with a sense of purpose. She does not shrink in the presence of others, nor does she overcompensate by trying to dominate conversations. Instead, she understands the balance of strength and grace, of assertion and receptivity. A woman who respects herself takes care of her body, her mind, and her emotions. She does not let herself deteriorate, nor does she neglect her own well-being in the pursuit of external validation. She understands that her physical health is not just about appearance, but about self-discipline and longevity. She knows that cultivating her intellect is not just about acquiring knowledge, but about sharpening her ability to navigate the world with wisdom. She is selective about what she consumes, both physically and mentally, because she knows that what she allows into her life will shape her reality. When a man approaches a woman with genuine confidence and self-respect, he knows that he is dealing with someone who will not tolerate mediocrity. She expects a certain level of effort, intelligence, and emotional maturity, and as a result, she naturally filters out those who are not prepared to meet her standards. This is not an act of exclusion. It is a reflection of the reality that those who do not respect themselves will struggle to truly respect others. A woman who embodies confidence and self-respect does not beg for love. She does not chase after men who show little interest, nor does she allow herself to be strung along by those who are incapable of commitment. She understands that her time and energy are valuable, and she invests them wisely. She does not lower her standards out of fear of being alone, because she recognizes that being alone with dignity is far better than being in a relationship that drains her spirit. This kind of self-assurance is rare, and it is precisely why it is so attractive. In a world where many people are desperate for approval, where they contort themselves to fit into roles that society dictates, a woman who simply is, without apology, without desperation, is a force to be reckoned with. She moves with intention. She speaks with clarity. She exists not to please others, but to live a life that aligns with her own principles and desires. When she walks into a room, people take notice, not because she is the loudest, not because she demands attention, but because she embodies something that is both powerful and rare, a deep, unshakable confidence that cannot be faked or fabricated. Men who are worth pursuing, men who have cultivated their own sense of purpose, are drawn to this. They recognize that a woman who respects herself will in turn demand respect from others. In relationships, this dynamic plays out in profound ways. A confident woman does not lose herself in a relationship. She does not abandon her identity to fit the expectations of her partner. Instead, she remains her own person, maintaining her passions, her friendships, her ambitions. This makes her far more interesting, far more engaging, and far more valuable as a partner. A relationship with such a woman is not one-sided. It is a meeting of equals, a partnership built on mutual respect rather than dependency. Attraction is not just about physical appearance. It is about energy. It is about presence. A woman who walks through life with confidence and self-respect radiates an energy that is impossible to ignore. She does not need to chase men, because men who recognize quality will be drawn to her naturally. This is the paradox of attraction. Those who seek validation desperately often repel it, while those who are secure in themselves effortlessly draw others in. A woman who understands this truth will never feel the need to compromise her standards for the sake of attention. Instead, she will stand firmly in her worth, knowing that the right people will recognize and appreciate it. And so, a woman who seeks to be approached by men of value must first ask herself, do I respect myself? Do I carry myself with confidence, not as a performance, but as an authentic expression of who I am? Because if the answer is yes, she will never need to chase anyone. Her presence alone will command attention, and those who are drawn to her will not come out of mere curiosity, but out of a deep recognition of the rare and extraordinary qualities she embodies. A woman who has lived a life full of purpose and passion naturally exudes an energy that is deeply compelling. She does not drift through life aimlessly, waiting for circumstances or people to define her existence. Instead, she builds something meaningful, whether in her career, her creative pursuits, her intellectual endeavors, or her personal relationships. She is engaged with life, and that engagement makes her radiant. Men who are worth pursuing are not simply looking for companionship. They are looking for inspiration, for a partner who contributes to the richness of their lives. A woman who has cultivated depth and purpose is intriguing because she brings something to the table beyond the superficial. She is not just present, she is alive in the truest sense of the word. The reality is that people are drawn to energy. If a woman has allowed her life to become stagnant, if she has resigned herself to monotony, if she has lost the curiosity and drive that once made her vibrant, it will be felt in every interaction she has. There is a marked difference between someone who is merely existing and someone who is thriving. The latter possesses a certain magnetism, an undeniable presence that captures attention without even trying. Passion is not just about grand ambitions or career success. It is about how a person engages with the world. A woman with passion does not move through life passively. She has interests, opinions, and a hunger to experience and learn. She has stories to tell because she has dared to live rather than merely observe. She does not need to chase excitement externally because she has cultivated it within herself. A man who meets a woman like this immediately recognizes that she is different from the rest. She does not rely on him to entertain her, to give her life meaning, to validate her existence. Instead, she is already fulfilled, and because of that, her presence enhances his life rather than drains it. She brings new new ideas, new experiences, and a fresh perspective that challenges and excites him. Many women, as they grow older, make the mistake of allowing their lives to shrink rather than expand. They become so accustomed to routine that they stop pushing themselves, stop discovering, stop growing. They assume that the best years of excitement and adventure are behind them. But nothing is more unattractive than resignation, than the quiet surrender to a dull and uninspired existence. The truth is, passion is not something that fades with age. It is something that is either cultivated or neglected. A woman who continues to engage with the world, who never stops learning, who continues to challenge herself and explore new territories, will never be dull. And dullness, more than anything else, is what causes people to fade into the background. This does not mean that she must constantly be in pursuit of something extravagant. Passion is not about chasing external thrills. It is about the way a person interacts with the everyday aspects of life. A woman who takes joy in her work, who loses herself in books, who delights in conversation, who appreciates art, music, or nature, she carries a certain vibrancy that is unmistakable. She does not need to seek adventure because she finds adventure in the very act of living. When a woman has cultivated her own interests and built a life she loves, she becomes irresistible. She does not rely on a man to provide her with purpose, nor does she place the burden of her happiness on his shoulders. She is self-sufficient in the most beautiful way, not in a way that pushes people away, but in a way that makes them want to be near her. There is something profoundly attractive about a woman who wakes up with a sense of excitement for her day, who speaks with enthusiasm about the things that matter to her, who approaches life with curiosity rather than complacency. She does not need to feign interest or pretend to be someone she is not. Her authenticity shines through in everything she does. Men who are serious about life, men who are building something of their own, are not looking for a partner who merely exists alongside them. They are looking for someone who is equally engaged in her own pursuits, someone who brings depth and passion to the relationship. A woman who has a full life is intriguing because she offers something beyond surface level attraction. She provides intellectual stimulation, emotional depth, and a sense of adventure that does not fade with time. Many people make the mistake of believing that attraction is purely about physical appearance. But while physical beauty may catch the eye, it is depth that holds attention. A woman who has dedicated herself to something meaningful, who has cultivated a strong sense of purpose, naturally stands out in a world where so many people are simply drifting. She does not need to put on an act, nor does she need to seek validation through desperate attempts to appear interesting. She is interesting because she has built a life that is rich and full. She does not need a man to complete her. She is already whole. And it is precisely this wholeness that makes her so magnetic. There is a difference between a woman who is waiting for something to happen to her and a woman who is actively creating her life. The former is passive, reactive, dependent on external circumstances. The latter is engaged, dynamic, driven by her own inner fire. It is the latter who commands attention, who draws people in, who becomes unforgettable. So the question is this: are you still growing? Are you still learning? Are you still pushing yourself to expand beyond your comfort zone? Or have you allowed yourself to stagnate? Because men who are ambitious, who are seeking meaning and depth in their own lives, will always be drawn to those who share that same energy. A woman who approaches life with passion does not fade into the background. She becomes the focal point of any room she enters. And when a man of substance encounters such a woman, he does not just notice her. He remembers her, because in a world filled with people who have settled for mediocrity, she represents something rare, a life fully and unapologetically lived. A woman who masters the art of conversation holds a power that extends far beyond mere words. She understands that communication is not just about speaking, but about truly engaging, about forging connections, inspiring thought, and leaving an imprint on those who interact with her. She does not speak simply to fill silence, nor does she talk aimlessly without purpose. Instead, she converses with intention, depth, and an awareness of the impact her words carry. There is a profound difference between someone who speaks out of habit and someone who speaks with meaning. Many people talk without truly saying anything. They repeat common phrases, echo the opinions of others, and avoid diving into anything of real substance. But a woman who has cultivated the ability to hold meaningful conversations does not fall into this trap. When she speaks, she captures attention, not through volume or force, but through the sheer depth of her words. A man who is drawn to substance is not looking for mindless chatter. He is not interested in empty compliments, rehearsed lines, or superficial exchanges. He is looking for engagement. He wants to be mentally stimulated, to be challenged, to walk away from a conversation feeling as though he has gained something, and a woman who has mastered conversation provides precisely that. The key to captivating dialogue lies not only in what is said, but in how it is said. A woman who understands this knows the importance of curiosity. She does not merely wait for her turn to speak. She listens. She absorbs. She asks thoughtful questions, ones that force the person she is speaking with to reflect, to dig deeper, to think in ways they may not have before. This is a rare quality, and it immediately sets her apart. Listening is an underrated skill, yet it is one of the most powerful tools in any conversation. When a woman listens, not just passively, but with genuine interest, she makes the person she is speaking with feel seen and understood. She does not interrupt unnecessarily, nor does she dismiss what is being said in favor of her own thoughts. Instead, she engages with intention, responding in a way that shows she values the exchange. Beyond listening, a woman who is truly engaging in conversation knows the power of depth. She does not rely solely on small talk or surface-level topics. She is willing to explore ideas, whether they are philosophical, intellectual, personal, or even controversial. She is not afraid of complexity, nor does she shy away from discussions that require critical thinking. When she speaks, she introduces perspectives that challenge assumptions, that provoke thought, that make others question and expand their understanding. Men, especially those who are ambitious, thoughtful, and striving towards something, are naturally drawn to women who can meet them at this level. They do not want a conversation that feels rehearsed or shallow. They want to be engaged in a way that forces them to think more deeply, to consider new viewpoints, to feel as though they are truly connecting with the person they are speaking to. Another essential quality of an engaging conversationalist is wit. There is an undeniable charm in a woman who can engage in playful banter, who can make a man laugh, not through forced jokes, but through sharpness, quick thinking, and a natural sense of humor. A woman who can challenge a man intellectually while also making him enjoy the process is someone he will remember long after the conversation has ended. Confidence plays a crucial role in all of this. A woman who hesitates, who second guesses herself, who speaks timidly as though she is afraid of saying the wrong thing, she will struggle to hold attention. But a woman who speaks with conviction, who expresses her ideas without fear, who engages fully in the moment, she is magnetic. She does not over-explain herself, nor does she downplay her intelligence to appear more agreeable. Instead, she trusts in her own thoughts and expresses them with clarity. Equally important is emotional intelligence. A woman who has mastered conversation is not only intellectually engaging, but also attuned to the emotions of the person she is speaking with. She knows when to push a topic further and when to step back. She understands subtle cues, recognizing when someone is intrigued, when they are uncomfortable, when they are eager to share more. This awareness allows her to navigate conversations with ease, ensuring that each exchange is meaningful rather than forced. Many people assume that attraction is based primarily on physical appearance, but this is a mistake. While initial attraction may be sparked by looks, it is sustained by something much deeper. A man may notice a woman's beauty in the first few seconds of meeting her, but what will make her unforgettable is the way she makes him feel when they speak. If she can engage him, challenge him, make him think, and leave him wanting more, she becomes far more compelling than someone who relies solely on external appeal. A woman who has mastered the art of conversation does not need to seek attention. It comes to her naturally. She does not need to force interactions or try to make herself seem interesting. She is interesting because she has spent time cultivating her mind, developing her perspectives, and learning how to truly connect with people. There's a stark contrast between a woman who merely exists in a social space and one who owns it. The former may be present, but she fades into the background. The latter is unforgettable, not because she dominates conversations, not because she speaks the loudest, but because every word she says carries weight, because she knows how to make someone feel seen, heard, and intellectually engaged. This ability to communicate meaningfully extends beyond romantic interactions. It influences friendships, professional relationships, and social dynamics in every aspect of life. A woman who knows how to hold a conversation, who can move seamlessly between deep discussions and lighthearted humor, who listens as much as she speaks, she is someone people gravitate toward. So the question becomes, are you speaking just to be heard, or are you speaking to engage? Are you truly listening, or are you waiting for your turn to talk? Are you expressing thoughts that hold weight, or are you simply repeating what is expected? The answers to these questions determine whether a conversation is forgettable or transformative. Men approach women who captivate them, and nothing is more captivating than someone who can make a conversation feel effortless, meaningful, and alive. A woman who understands this truth never has to chase attention. She draws it in naturally because her words are not just spoken, they resonate. And in a world where so many interactions are shallow and fleeting, that that resonance is what makes all the difference. A woman who embraces her femininity while maintaining strength holds a rare and captivating presence. She understands that femininity is not weakness, nor is strength a denial of her nature. Instead, she integrates the two seamlessly, creating a balance that is both powerful and deeply attractive. She does not see femininity as a set of superficial traits, but as an energy, a way of being that enhances her relationships, her presence, and her ability to connect with others on a profound level. Many people misunderstand what it means to be feminine. Some believe it is about submission, about passively allowing life to happen rather than shaping it. Others think it is about playing a role, dressing a certain way, speaking in a soft voice, or conforming to outdated stereotypes. But true femininity is not about appearances. It is about essence. It is about embodying warmth, grace, and intuition while simultaneously standing firm in one's values and expectations. A woman who embraces her femininity does not shy away from emotion. She understands that her ability to feel deeply, to empathize, to nurture, these are not weaknesses but strengths. In a world that often values cold logic and detachment, she brings something irreplaceable, the ability to make others feel truly seen and understood. She listens with presence, speaks with intention, and carries herself in a way that invites connection rather than competition. At the same time, she is not naive. She is not so consumed by emotional expression that she loses control over her own direction. She does not allow herself to be manipulated, nor does she fall into the trap of thinking that her kindness must come at the expense of her boundaries. A woman who balances femininity with strength knows that she can be soft without being fragile, loving without being naive, and open without being easily swayed. Men are drawn to this balance because it reflects something deeply valuable: self-mastery. A woman who has cultivated this balance is not controlled by external forces. She does not act out of desperation for approval, nor does she attempt to prove her worth by imitating masculine traits. Instead, she moves through life with quiet confidence, knowing that her femininity is not something to suppress, but something to refine and harness. This does not mean she expects others to lead her life for her. On the contrary, she takes full responsibility for herself. She makes her own decisions, builds her own success, and does not wait for someone else to give her permission to be great. Her strength comes from knowing that she is capable, and that capability allows her to embrace her femininity fully without fear of being perceived as weak. One of the most powerful aspects of true femininity is receptivity. This is not the same as passivity. A woman who has mastered receptivity does not merely accept whatever comes her way. She discerns. She knows when to receive and when to reject, when to be open and when to stand firm. She is not closed off to the world, nor does she try to control everything around her. Instead, she moves with a sense of flow, understanding that true strength often lies in knowing when to let go and when to hold on. This balance between strength and femininity also manifests in the way she interacts with men. She does not compete with them, nor does she diminish herself to make them feel stronger. Instead, she complements them. She understands that true attraction is not about power struggles, but about mutual respect. A strong man does not seek a woman who challenges his authority in an adversarial way. He seeks a woman who inspires him, who supports his mission while pursuing her own, who challenges him intellectually and emotionally without trying to dominate him. A woman who has mastered this balance also understands the power of grace. She does not carry resentment, bitterness, or a hardened exterior in response to past disappointments. She does not view men as adversaries, nor does she allow herself to be controlled by cynicism. Instead, she moves with dignity, refusing to let negative experiences shape her into someone she is not. Men notice this. They recognize when a woman has retained her softness despite life's hardships. They see the difference between a woman who is guarded out of fear and a woman who is selective out of wisdom. The former pushes people away without realizing it. The latter draws them in effortlessly. There is also an undeniable allure to a woman who embraces her feminine energy in the way she carries herself. She does not rush, she does not force, she does not demand attention. Instead, she commands it naturally. Her movements are intentional, her voice carries warmth, her presence exudes a quiet confidence that makes people want to be near her. She is not loud, yet she is heard. She is not aggressive, yet she is strong. She is not desperate for validation, yet she is deeply valued. This balance of strength and femininity is what makes her unforgettable. It is what makes her stand out in a world where many women have been told they must choose between the two. She does not choose, she embodies both. She can be nurturing and assertive, kind and discerning, open and protective. She does not see these qualities as contradictions, but as necessary complements. When a man encounters a woman like this, he knows he has met someone different. She is not trying to prove herself, yet she is undeniably powerful. She is not trying to control him, yet she inspires him to rise to his best self. She does not need him, yet he feels drawn to her in a way that is both profound and undeniable. A woman who embraces her femininity while standing in her strength does not chase. She does not need to. She attracts by the very nature of who she is. Her presence is an invitation to experience something rare, something valuable, something deeply fulfilling. And men who recognize quality will always approach a woman who possesses this remarkable balance. A woman who cultivates self-respect, passion, intellectual depth, engaging conversation, and the balance between femininity and strength naturally commands attention. She does not chase approval, nor does she mold herself to fit the expectations of others. Instead, she refines herself, continuously growing into the best version of who she is meant to be. This is the essence of attraction. Not manipulation, not artificial strategies, but the authentic embodiment of a life well lived. Men who are worthy of deep, meaningful connections are not drawn to superficiality. They are drawn to women who carry themselves with confidence, who have something to offer beyond appearance, who challenge them intellectually and emotionally, and who complement rather than compete. A woman who understands her own worth does not fear aging, nor does she see herself as diminishing over time. She knows that true allure comes from wisdom, self-awareness, and an unwavering commitment to excellence in all aspects of life. In a world where many seek shortcuts, where people look for tricks and tactics to gain attention, the truth remains simple. Quality attracts quality. A woman who invests in herself, who builds a life that is rich in experience, who speaks with intention, and who moves with grace, she never needs to question her desirability. She does not need to beg for love, nor does she need to prove her worth. She is valuable, and that value speaks for itself. Men will always approach a woman who embodies these traits, not because she is trying to be noticed, but because she is impossible to ignore.